Hello, guys. Back again. Welcome to the Brothers Arena 25. The channel is still running, things are still being put in place. Obviously, we're looking at doing a couple of things now, so just thought I should come here and have a basic chat and just give one or two encouragements. So, those of you who might want to know me, my name is Bonaventure Mwale. The sole founder of Brothers Arena. It's a YouTube page that I've opened basically just to use it for my sort of giving information to others and just like giving stories to different people. So it's an interactive channel, so where you can just watch content, comment about the content, talk about the little things, talk about things that do matter anyway. But the reason why I'm here today is just like to have an interaction. I've not been online, guys, for like a long time, and obviously being online is not easy here. So it is easy, but if you're working, obviously you need to prioritize your work rather than being on the online. So most of the times that I'm not online, I'll just be obviously working back to back. Like here, the shifts will make you go crazy. So otherwise, we're doing very fine. I'm doing very well, and I'm looking forward to continue interacting with you guys. Just that here it's very hot, guys. Like it's really burning. It's really burning. I just I don't know. And I'm not just understanding this logic that is happening. You know, when I'm home in Zambia, it is hot, but not to this extent. But this kind of hotness that I'm encountering, guys, it's not. I don't know. I don't know where this hotness is coming from. But just to be fair, it is hot. We're staying hydrated. And one thing that you might want to learn that is interesting about these modernized countries or the European countries or the so-called Western countries or the countries that are doing very well, these guys, when there is a simple heat wave, they'll make sure they sensitize everyone. Just like to take a lot of water. In some cities, you find that they're even putting, like, I would call them water stands where you can just go and get water for free just to keep hydrated. Because, of course, I've been reading on the internet, like, there are a couple of people, like, there's a couple of there's a number of people that have died in relation to this heat wave. But otherwise, it's really doing us bad. And the only thing that I'm really like not understanding, when I was home, if you go to places like Siavonga, Mamba, Sinazong, yeah, Livingstone, those places are really hot. Like those places are dead hot. But to my surprise, you find that regardless of them being that hot, one would want to know and understand to say those places. Since the time I came here, I've been in this country for 2 years plus now, and when you adapt to the environment here, because it gets cold here, like it gets to -4, -5. Sometimes there's snow, so it's really hot, and the majority of the time cold. The majority of the times it's really cold than it's hot. So the body adapts to this, and then when it adapts to this, it just gets on. Oh, guys. So now I'm burning, like I'm suffering with this heat wave. I'm sweating back and forth. But anyway, we are keeping hydrated, spending most of the time in the house if I'm not doing anything as well, because I don't go anywhere unless if I'm going to visit my friends or I'm being visited by friends. Because here it's just work home, and just that's the life that we live here. It's not very interactive like it is back home, where you can knock off from work and then you say, "Oh, I'm going to chill out with some guys." We could do that here, but the problem is that we're too distant, and like I'm in Manchester, and the other friends of mine are in Stafford, some of them in Telford, so it's difficult to really. Well, even if you've got the time, but sometimes it gets crazy that you can't actually have all that time to yourself, like just have a chat with them, because obviously when you're off, them they're in work. But otherwise, today I just want to share something that is really motivating. Um, I'm hoping one or two people are going to learn one or two things from this. So I'm here for the men. So as Brother Zarina 25, I want to talk about this thing called motivation and working hard. So every person has got their own goals. I know I've done a video similar to this, but I'm just bringing it forth again because it's something of concern. So everyone usually they have something that motivates them. But one thing that I've discovered in life is that as a guy, you need to work extra hard. Like you need to put in a bit more. If let's take it for instance, if you in your own scaling, you scale a lady to be doing 80%, then you need to be doing 160%. Like you need to have to do double of what a lady could do. So if a lady does 100%, you have to do like you have to do 200%. So the reason why I'm saying this is most of the people I've seen people back home that have really not done well in life. Not that I've done well. Of course, I've been blessed by God. But the thing that I would want to put forth is it's really difficult to motivate some certain people. And it's kind of cumbersome for you to always be waiting to be motivated for you to do something positive in your life. Um, by the grace of God, I'm a nurse by profession, and I'm one person who is very focused with what I do. So what I mean by being focused with what I do, I focus on one thing. So if I say I want to attend this by the end of this, I'll make sure, like I'll fight extra hard to attain that I want to attain at that point. Why do I do this? Is because I've realized that as a man, if I don't do certain things, no one is going to come forth for me. So I went to nursing in Livingstone, did my 3 years. To be honest, I did repeat, not repeat obviously. I had to go back to go and do 6 months in school for practical, of which I had to fail practical. I don't know how it happened because since I started school in Livingstone, I'd never failed practical. I was one of the best. Not that I was the best, but I would put myself there because I was very good at practical. By then, we were still doing two papers, so it would be medicine and surgery. So it would be internal medicine and then surgery, and then they would categorize them like that, and then there was practical paper. So for you to pass or to clear your final exam, you have to go through these three. So you have to pass the three. So I ended up failing practical. How it happened, I don't know, but I knew I'd done very well. But we're not the ones that mark the papers. So that thing happened. I was very devastated. I almost stopped school. I told my sister I'm never going back there because in my mind, I expected to fail. In my mind, what was there was that I was only going to fail one paper. So that was always what was in my head. I was going to fail one paper, which was medicine. I was not really good at medicine. I was good because they would categorize them in such a way that maybe pediatrics and other things would come in medicine, and then all these surgical courses would go in the surgery paper. So I was very good at surgery, but I was very poor when it comes to medicine. But to my surprise, that I had to clear those two papers, and then ended up failing one paper, practical part, of which we had to do two. We had to do two stations, I think. Yeah, because we had to do one sterile and one non-sterile. So I don't know how I failed. Anyway, I failed, but the results came out. My friends had cleared, most of them had cleared, and then I ended up failing. So I had to go back to go and redo the practical part. But when I went back, I told before I could go back, my sister sat down. Shout out to my sister Alice. I call her my second mom. She sat me down because by the time I was getting the results, I was staying in her house in Lusaka. So she told me, you can't give up now. Look at what mom has spent. Look at what people have invested in you, and you can't give up now. It's just one single paper, one single part that you need to redo. So I went back and I was just so demoralized. I wasn't even feeling the motive to be around and like go through. So I was just basically not in the mood, to be fair. But lucky enough, I had a tutor that about two tutors sat me down, and my clinical instructor said, "Oh no, you are very good at what you do. So we don't know how it got to this, but you can really do it. You just have to focus, and it's only practical. So you only do the clinicals, and then obviously practice, and then in no time you write your practical, and you'll be on your way." Of which I had to listen to them, and then did what I could do. I ended up passing. When I cleared my exams, by the time I was getting my license and getting my diploma, I discovered that my group had been deployed, so a few of us were remaining. I sat down in Lusaka, did a bit of some voluntary work, but the funny part is that one of my colleagues, when she got deployed into the government, she was working at a private institution, my sister Mundai Mulapwa. Yeah, she's a very good sister of mine. So she had to recommend me to this private hospital that she was working with in Lusaka, because she got deployed in the government, so she had to leave that position. So she brought me, she recommended me. I took in the paper, started work, but it was very difficult for me because I was staying in Matero, and the place was in, I think, in Chelston, somewhere there, in the far end. So I had to get like two buses from Matero to into the city market, or maybe Lima Tower, and then get another bus to that place. So I was having little time to rest, and I was only doing night. So you find that by the time, with the congestion of Lusaka, you knock off in the morning. By the time you get home, it's more like 11, and then you have to sleep maybe for 2-3 hours, and then by somewhere 14, 15, 16, you're already on your way back because you have to get there in time. I worked there for a few days, for a month, I think, and I couldn't cope. Not that the place was bad, everyone was supportive, and then I just couldn't do it. So I said, no, I'm not gonna do this. So I had to stop. But what made me stop is my friend Bwadia, one of my closest friends in school. He is working in Batoka, so he called me to say, "Oh, you know what, since I'm staying alone, you could come over here and then do a bit of some voluntary work." So I did listen to Bwadia. Went to Batoka. We were staying with a guy. The guy was very supportive. Like, he was getting paid. He was footing all the bills, and at times he would give me something like, "Oh, my guy, I've gotten paid. Can you get? I'll give you maybe this just for airtime and everything." So the guy was very supportive. But the motive of me going there, the most important thing was not to stay dormant. The second thing was to learn the art, because I wanted to learn how the art works in real time. Because in school you do most of the practicals, and you're not really responsible for most of the things as a student, of which you're supposed to be. But we say we relax as students. But when I went there, I had to do the actual thing. It wasn't really a bad thing. I did that part. I worked there for a few months, I think, and we were doing very good. But when I was doing there, I was very dedicated at what I was doing. I was very focused, and I really prioritized learning. So I asked Wadia to talk to. Anyway, I asked Wadia to talk to the people there so that I could start doing outreaches and gain some money. By then, the in charge was very helpful as well, so put me through the system. I started doing very well. People liked me, liked how I was doing my work, liked how dedicated I was. The in charge sometimes would call me and Wadia, because we just leave. We're just staying like maybe 3 minutes walk from the house to the facility. So in the night, if maybe the person is in the night shift, is overwhelmed, as you know, in the rural areas, sometimes you'd have maybe 3-4 patients, antenatal mothers, and then they're up for delivery. So you need to be there, like, physically, to do one or two things, like to help out. So we would go in there and help, and by that I learned a lot. I learned how to do a delivery out of, like, away from school, from what do you call them, the come on, the cleaners. I don't want to use the word cleaners, but the people that do the general workers. She was very good, so she taught me how to do that, and then I became good at deliveries anyway, and everything. I was okay managing the facility. At a certain point, I reached a point where I could manage the facility. And then I kept on applying anyway to the Ministry of Health, but it was very hard to get employment. So I did get employment in a certain way. However, that's a story for another day. How I got my employment anyway. I had to go to the Ministry of Health and did something. So, which was funny. So anyway, I got deployed. I got deployed at Choma General Hospital, but I wanted to go back to Batoka. So, and also the in charge for Batoka wanted me back on almost everyone because how I was putting up my services. But when I got to Choma General Hospital, I also wanted to learn how the General Hospital operates. So I ended up staying, of course, which was home as well. So in Choma, the story that I heard was that if you go there, the first time you can't be taken to work in NICU, the neonatal department. You have to first work in general wards, and then they see how dedicated you are, and then you'll be taken to the general ward to work in NICU. Then there was another friend of mine that I was with in school who was already working in NICU at Choma General Hospital, Malawi. She's really good. She just came to me and said, "Oh, actually, the matron was taking me around, and then Malawi, and just went like, oh, Bonaventure, you're here," and I'm like, "Oh, I'll just come in." "Oh no, madam, you should bring this one back." So when I went back with the matron just said, "Oh, since Malawi said you should go to NICU, anyway, go to NICU, they'll teach you what to do." So I went to NICU. At first, I didn't like it because I wanted the surgical ward, but when I got when I stayed in NICU for some time, I started loving taking care of babies. I really love taking care of babies. Like, I was enjoying it, especially if you do a resuscitation and the baby recovers. I was very much like, I loved that part. So what I did is that after doing all that part, I ended up moving to. I didn't move anyway. I was left in NICU because I'd done certain trainings, so they couldn't move me because it was another kind of. It was another. It was just basically another time of me trying to feeding another person into the system and teaching them. So they would rather keep those that already had the knowledge. So I stayed in NICU the whole time until I left Zambia. But I liked NICU to an extent where I started being called Father NICU. So there was a doctor called Dr. Pandi and me. So Dr. Pandi would be called Father NICU, and I was the nurse that was called Father NICU. I liked working in NICU. Like, it was really awesome. Seeing those baby recover, it was a plus for me. And then I moved from. I didn't want to move anyway, but I requested to go to school. So I had to go to school, did neonatal nursing as a specialty. So I'm specialized in neonatal nursing. So did neonatal nursing for a year in Lusaka, cleared. And then, from there, I went back to Choma General Hospital. But when I got back to Choma General Hospital, it was within a shortest period. I decided I needed to, I decided I needed to progress and do something else. So I didn't want to go for a degree program then, but I wanted to do something different. So obviously I started the program, and then all was going well. I was loving the how things were going. That was just an awesome moment anyway. When I came back, I was really good at what I was doing. And then it was time for me to leave. Guys, it was time for me to leave. So I ended up leaving. But before I reached the point where I left to the UK, because that's a story of another day, I must say that during all this period, I was tested in all angles. I needed to go to the opportunities that were coming in, but I wanted to focus on one thing. But what happened was, you remember when I said I did fail at a certain point. When I failed, I almost gave up. But what pulled me through was focus, and the people that motivated me or spoke to me or encouraged me to work extra hard of which that's the only thing I needed. After all that progress, after all that happened, I decided, oh, now it's time for me to move ahead and do the right thing. So I did the right things, cleared the exams, went on to um, they had actually fixed a graduation date, but the only thing that I did is I didn't want to go for that graduation because by then my parents were like financially not too stable, because by then my sister was also in school, so my brother was also in school. So they said they were going to give me money, they were going to give me money to go and do the graduation on my own, and I said it wasn't making sense. I opted not to go for the graduation, so didn't go for the graduation. And then of course I had to pay a penalty fee after later on for me to get my certificate from school, but I'd gotten the diploma and the license from the General Nursing Council of Zambia. Then when I went to UTH to go and do my specialty, when I got done, I cleared the exams. At that point, I was preparing for my exams to go to the UK. So I weighed the benefits of me going for of me going for the graduation and using that money to do something. So like I opted, no, I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna drift away and just focus on what I'm working on. So like the main point of all this is focus. We need to be focused as men. As a guy, you need to know what you want in life. As a guy, you need to know, you need to set boundaries. We all have friends, but you need to choose what kind of friends. Me, I always hang around people that will benefit me. It's either in my academic lineage or in my, I would say, in my business, in the business aspect. So always when I go to a certain place, I identify people that will influence me positively. So I've interacted with people like Gideon. He's Gideon, but it's called DMC. Those of you who are from Choma obviously would know this guy. He's a very talented business guy, so business minded. So every time you sit with him, you will laugh, of course, chat, of course, but in the end, he's gonna teach you about business. He's gonna take you through the business process. He will give you business talks, business ideas. When I was in school in Livingstone, I met a guy called Louis. Even up to now, we still interact with Louis. He's my guy. Like we do talk with the guy. He really motivates me as well. He taught me an art, of which up to now I still use it to make money, because he taught me how to buy and sell goods from eBay. So I used to do that when I was home and it was making money. I've met a couple of friends, like different people. I've met people like Jimmy, who has now become a brother, because he also taught me the art of focus, resilience, and I would say the educational aspect. This guy, if he means to do something, he means to do something, and he's gonna uh, do it in the way that he wants to do it. But all I'm saying is that as a guy, you don't need someone to come and push you hard. Sometimes just by you interacting with certain people, you end up being influenced or motivated to do good. So influence can come in two ways. It can be positive or negative, but focus on the positive part. Of course, some negative parts will obviously teach you something, but mostly the negative parts should be avoided and focus on the positive parts. So always people that I hang around, I need to be able to contribute something positive in their life, and they need to be able to contribute something positive in my life. So they should be able to appreciate my work, and I should be able to appreciate their work. And that's just how I feel everything should go. And if you look at how these things happen, sometimes things happen for a reason. So I think when I failed the first time, it happened for a reason, because it gave me resilience and it gave me the power to work extra hard, because I didn't want that to repeat itself, and I didn't want that embarrassment. Just imagine you've graduated, you've done your handover ceremonies. If you're in the executive, some of us were in the Nurses Christian Fellowship. We owned positions, so we obviously did handovers and everything, and everyone was like, oh, those guys have now gone, and then you come back. It was very devastating, but I learned a lesson from that. So as a guy, you need to be focused, learn lessons from your downfalls. The only the only biggest bad part is that if you have one downfall and you let it drag you down for a long time, it's very, very, very difficult to manage. But what I can say is that once you have that downfall and you decide, okay, I have this downfall, it's not the end of life, I need to go back out there and work hard, you'll find that the positivity that is going to be coming out of there, you will not even believe it. So that's what I mean when I said you have to be resilient and be focused. But most of them all, I know we people have got different religions. I'm a full Christian, and I will base my talk on a Christian perspective. If you're a Christian and you believe in God, you need to focus everything on God first before all this come through. So me, I used to do before going for studies, I would make sure I pray. And that's the thing that I should do even now. Before I leave the house going for work, I pray. We sit with Madam, we pray. If we are working, the both of us. And what we've done is that if I'm the one who is working, Madam is home, she prays for me. If she's the one who is working and I'm going for work, I pray for her. But what is important is we need to be focused, and we need to make sure that we put God first in everything that we do. Being successful is not hard. To be honest, I can't say I don't feel successful. I feel successful. Of course, I'm successful by the grace of God, and I've not reached that level that I want to be. That's God's discretion where He wants me to lead to reach to, but it's up to me to put myself out there, because God says God helps those that help themselves. But if you look at my whole story, where I've been through and how I've made decisions for me to reach this far, it's really a journey, and everyone can do it. I believe in everyone to say they can do it. You doing it doesn't mean that you need to go through all these processes. You need to do different things, like you need to be hard on yourself. No, you just need to find strategies. Like I'm saying, one of the biggest strategies, finding the people that you will interact with. It's just a simple one. The only problem that I've noticed is that people don't want to always interact with people that will cheer up for them, and then in the end there's no positivity that is coming in. Being positive in life will build you, and having positive friends will even build you more. You sit down with friends, discuss about business. At this age that I've reached, when I sit down with my guys, every time we talk about business, how are we gonna make more money? Tizapanga bwanji ndarama zambiri, guys. Okay, wowe ninamvera kwa business idea ka, so if you do this vintu vimaenda bwino. Oh no, wowe inamverako ka, so unamveraka bwanji na wowe inamverako ka kakutatinga twashitana so ka business kama enda so. And honestly speaking, you see the positivity that is coming in. And the other thing that is motivating as well is the way you carry yourself, the way you conduct yourself around people, and the kind of friends that you do have, you discover that in that due process, you find that people start respecting you. Me, I've got friends like Venon. We came back from the similar background, in the same hood, and this guy is very intelligent. Right now, he's in Germany. He's doing some certain courses, like these big courses anyway, that he's doing under forestry. He's worked with the United Nations back home. This guy is very intelligent. He's in Germany right now. He was first in Israel. He's now in Germany. If you look at how he was conducting himself, people would laugh at us. Oh no, combo and everything like that. But in the end, we knew what we were looking for, because we wanted to change the environment that we've come from. Not really change the environment, but change the story around that environment. Right now, if you go to my hood, we are one of the people that are being talked about, and that makes our parents proud. Where they say, oh no, you've seen mwana wa soso, or you've seen mwana wa mwale, hapana choka likuyuke. So it's just that motivation. Even the people that I was interacting with in school, if I can remember very well, there are some that are working for the office of a president. There are some that are running big institutions. the guys that were together in G Unit and we used to do jets together, they are doing big projects. Like they're doing amazing, and by that alone, I was telling myself I'm never failing. I need to go up higher, and that's what I've done. So, my word of the day, or my take-home message, I would say, you need to be motivated. You need to put God first. You don't have to wait for someone to motivate you. Put God first. Motivate yourself. Stick around people that will put impact in your life. Yeah. Interact with people that will bring value to your life. Don't interact with people that will not carry any weight in your life. No. I've left out a couple of friends here that I've not mentioned. Not that they've not done anything. No, they've influenced my life in a certain way as well. But it's just that I can't put it all in this video. But what I'm saying is that let's get people that will definitely bring something for us in our lives. Let's get people that will definitely, obviously, help us open certain doors in our lives. Once we do that, you see different things happening. You see God blessing you more. You make right decision, make right friends. You see life moving smoothly. It's not that it's not hard. It becomes hard, but because we believe in ourselves. If I sit down sometimes, I see I want to do this and I think, oh, I can't do it. I say, okay, Venom has done it. Oh, no. Or Barry has done it. Oh, Gideon has done this. Oh, Louis has done this. Oh, okay. Oh, Jimmy has done this. Oh, Mabanti has done this. This guy has done this. So they, like my entire circle is just for those people that influence me positively, and that's what you need in life as a guy. The next time we meet, I will be talking about so the next time we meet, I'll be talking about the time that I made the decision to leave the country, like to leave Zambia, coming to the UK. So obviously tomorrow I'll shoot another video. So talk about how I moved from the UK, from Zambia, and found myself in the UK, and just talk about a few difficulties that I encountered during that period, and also talk about the kind of life that I encountered when I just transitioned into this country, when I got into this country, the kind of difficulties and the positivities that I've encountered in this place. So for now, all I'll say is that thank you for watching this video, and I would like to ask Nipemba. I beg you guys, like, subscribe, comment on this page. The page is Brothers Arena 25. It's an upcoming page, and I know that through this page a lot of lives will be changed. So let's keep talking on this page. I'm looking forward to be putting an email where people can send me kinds of topics that they want me to talk about. They would want me to share. Those that I will be able to share and comfortable to share, I will be doing that. So please, let's try by all means and share this, guys. Tag a friend, share it with your friends. Let's talk about these things. I've got a lot of stories to share with you, so please don't forget to like, comment, and share. Brothers Arena 25, Brothers Arena 25, and we'll have a great interaction. See you on the next video, guys, and have a blessed day.